we need to feel that this is the story that you have to tell the world. So if we get that, then we start what we call the development process.
Tell us a little bit about how filmmakers submit their work to Amazon Studios, and what are the next steps as you develop it and take it through to release? How does all that work?
Okay, so the first thing, I told you, we are a small team. For the movies, it's like we have Maria Contreras with us, she is our executive producer for movies, and that's the team of movies. Maria and I and a coordinator, so we are a small team. So what we need to do is try to prioritize our timings and your timing. So what we usually ask is just send us a log line, send us the idea. So we will know if that idea has something that worked for us. So after that, we make a meeting with the creators, and they pitch us the story. So if we get in love, because this is something that we tell every time, we need to watch the passion, and this we will talk about later with the team of awareness. Yeah. We need to feel the passion of the creator. We need to feel that this is the story that you have to tell the world. So if we get that, then we start what we call the development process. So we take the time to develop the idea. It doesn't matter the time. We don't put the development process is going to be 2 months. No, it depends on the show, the idea we have. We took the time the idea and the project needs to develop. Once we are all the producers and the creators happy with what they have done, and we are happy what they have done, but we put the movie on greenlit, and then we start the usual process of pre-production, production, post-production, and everything.
Right. So obviously, but you're a small team.
Yeah.
Very small team at the moment, as we've heard. And I want to hear a little bit about your input creatively. What value does Amazon bring creatively to the productions?
Yeah, we are a small team, but something that makes us, I think, quite special is that all the team have been on the ground. Everyone that is part of the local original team in Spain have been on the ground. So we understand what the creators, the producers talk. We have the same language. So we don't want to say, or we are not so much, our part on the creative side is not very important. We want to give the creators the power. It's their idea, is their project. So what we do is we want to be like the great companions on the journey. So what we do is we gave them the tools they need to be able to produce the best idea. And I think that in somehow from the creative side, what is good is like having a voice out of the writing room, having a voice out of the post-production room, because sometimes we see something that the creator doesn't see. But it's such a collaboration between the creators, the producer, and us.
Yes. And then, do you want your local content, very Spanish content, does it need to have global appeal?
Not at all. We search for local content, for unique and different stories that engage our audience here. But what we have realized, I think everyone has realized, that it's not that a good story, a good character from here, from locally, it could engage globally through the emotions. And we have an incredible example with Argentina, 1985. It was such a local story that has resonated around the world. So what we do is the same, is we work to find local stories that could resonate around the world, because we have that opportunity to show the world the incredible stories and producers that we have here. But we don't work from that perspective. We work like, let's talk about this, let's make this story work good, but we don't build the story to work.
Right. So it's that popular word, organic. It just grows out the way it is.
Because of the emotions. I think at the end, it's the emotions are global, so that's the thing that it's going to engage.
Let's talk about theatrical. Do any of your films get a theatrical release, and what is the decision process that determines that?
The local original movies, at the beginning from the first step, they are planned to be directly on our service. But the good thing from Prime Video is the flexibility we have, because we have different type of models where we can fix. For us, it's so important, and the most important thing is what the movie needs. If we think that the movie needs to have a theatrical release, we will work on that. So for us, it's not. We are all the time open for that possibility.
So last question, MJ, before we bring the filmmakers on, is how relevant is diversity for Prime Video, and how is that represented in your slate of movies?
It's absolutely one of our main focus and the things we work much more. And it's not just on our slate and on the movies and on the story we told, the story we tell, or the team in front of the cameras, or it's how we work, how we communicate, how we build the teams, how we protect the environment of the producers on the set to be sure that the diversity inclusion is absolutely a main focus on our job.
So I want to hear a little bit about how the project came about, you know, how you got it going, and then how you came to work with Prime Video, with Amazon.
Well, the story, I've always had the idea of exploring the potential that mind powers have. Now, in this case, in this film, we have 3 sets of mind powers which appeal to different aspects of the narrative. One is creating visual illusions, which for us as a storyteller creates kind of an open canvas of what you can do with the visual side of the story. Then you have a second power, which is mind reading, which adds the ingredient of finding information, you know, the thriller aspect of the film. And then you have another one, which is mind control, which is kind of a combination of a psychological skill with a physical skill. No, you can control the body of an external people. You know, so that creates us, you know, a wide variety of mechanisms that you can explore throughout the movie within the emotional core of this kid trying to find his true origin, right? So you put all in that mix, and that's what we find was appealing to us. Now the idea was who can, you know, accept this kind of challenge in terms of partner, because for us, obviously, as a filmmaker, once you decide to step into a film like this, you're going to spend 2-3 years of your life. You need to be sure that the people that are going to be walking with you through this adventure are fully committed with the story and with what entails a genre like this. You know, we were talking about expectations before. I mean, you need to find the right partners, and in this case, they were fully supportive of the idea, of the concept, of the risk it entails to do something that is not commonly explored in our film industry in Spain. And I think we can be super happy about what we got.
It's working out well, yeah. So you approached Amazon Spain, and this was, what, 2, 3, 4 years ago, something like this?
No, not that long, actually. It was around 2021. 2020, yeah. Yeah, there was actually, we were discussing another project with them, which, because of differences between the creators, we actually didn't end up doing with them. And Danny came to Juan Solá and Nacho Manuel, the company directors, and he pitched this project to us, and it was like, well, this actually seems something that could fit very well with Amazon. So basically, we pitched it to them, and from there on, here we are.
And here we are, yeah. And as you've all said, you know, sci-fi is not such a common genre in Spain, so that was something of a risk for Amazon Spain to get involved in. What made you think, I'm going to do this?
Because we love risk for the very beginning. So what we love is being surprised at the very beginning, and work with people that feel the same as we do about ambition, about being different, about being unique, and all of that with the producers and creators that are able to do this, because we have to find the perfect mix for that. And we really love the idea and the scripts. So it was done.
There we go. Here we are. Guys, you've worked with, you know, some other streamers. Tell us about the process of working with Amazon Spain, and how has that differed from you know, working with other distributors in your career so far?
Yeah, from the creative side, I think that Mario Jose told us before, they are a small team. this for us is like a blessing. You know who you have to speak to. You know you can go chat them anytime. They're accessible. They do not do, I don't know, 20 films a year. They do a few films a year, which means that they really take care of what they're doing. And for us as filmmakers, this communication, you know, straight on. I mean, I can call Maria Contreras, says, let's go for lunch today. Okay, let's go. Let's chat about these things. You know, this proximity, this accessibility to you know, manifest the different opinions upon the script, you know, come to a common ground about certain aspects, be very clear on what is our expectation and what is their expectation towards the film, you know. Getting all these pieces together, I think it's only possible if you have this kind of close communication with them, as opposed to other places where obviously you do have communication. But I think that in this case, I mean, they are super accessible, they are super easy to communicate with, and you can see that they do have the same passion that we have. So that was very, very grateful for that, yeah.
And on the production front, I'd say freedom, because once we established what the parameters of the film were going to be, they just let us get on with it, and that was very gratifying, I must say. I mean, obviously we kept, you know, in close contact with the production entity, obviously, and with the finance as well. But you know, freedom for me was actually key to actually get this film to where we wanted it.